Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. And in today's video we're going to be crocheting a snowflake. So for that you'll be needing white yarn preferably, or you could use maybe blue color. And here we're going to be using a 2.00 mm hook. You can use the most thinnest hook you can find, because that will make your snowflake look much more better. And here we have a yarn needle and some scissors, and these are the only 4 things you're going to be needing. Now let's start off by taking our yarn and our hook. The yarn we're going to wrap around our finger around 3 times. This is to form a magic loop. Now let's put our hook through both the front 2 loops and pull out the third loop and slip stitch 1. After that we need to take the yarn out of our fingers, and now we're going to chain 5. After we're done chaining 5 single crochets, we're going to do a double crochet into the 2 loops of the magic loop. Now we need to chain 3 and double crochet into the same 2 loops. And this process is going to be repeated 5 times. So chain 3, double crochet into both the loops, chain 3, double crochet into both the loops. This is our last loop which we are going to be making, and we should have a total of 6 loops altogether. And make sure to double check that, because if you don't and you end up with having less loops, then your snowflake is going to look a bit weird. Now what we're going to be doing is joining all of this together. So for that we're going to take our yarn tail and pull it a bit, and from the 2 sides of the yarn that you can see, the one that is getting pulled inwards, that you now need to take it and pull it outwards. Now after you're done pulling it a bit, you need to now take the same yarn tail and then pull that tightly. So then now you see that the circle in between that is completely shut, and you have like a flower ring, and looks pretty cute already. But here we are making a snowflake. So let's continue with our crocheting. Now let's take our hook again, and what we're going to be doing is doing 1 slip stitch into the first loop, that is to join all the petals together. Now we're going to chain 2, and after chaining 2 we are going to double crochet into the loop and repeat that 2 more times. Now here we have a total of 4 double crochets in 1 loop. Now what we're going to be doing is chaining 2 and then doing 4 double crochets into the second loop. And now we're going to repeat the same process by chaining 2 and 4 double crochets into the next loop, chain 2 and 4 double crochets into the next loop. Now here we've reached our last loop, in which we're going to be repeating the same thing of chaining 2 and double crocheting 4 into that loop. Now after we are done doing 4 double crochets, we are going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the third stitch of the first loop. Now we are done with our second row. So we're going to begin by slip stitching into the 4 double crochets that we had done earlier. Now we're going to make the tip of our snowflakes. For that, we need to chain 3 and slip stitch into the loop, and we're going to chain 5 and slip stitch into the same loop, Now we're going to go ahead and chain 7 and slip stitch into the same loop. Now chain 5 and slip stitch into the loop. And one last time, we're going to chain 3 and slip stitch into the loop. So here we have one tip of our snowflake ready. And we're going to go ahead and repeat the process of slip stitching through the 4 double crochets. And once we reach the last 4th double crochet, we are going to chain 3, slip stitch into the loop, chain 5, slip stitch into the loop, chain 7, slip stitch into the loop, chain 5, slip stitch into the loop, and chain 3, slip stitch into the loop. Here you can see that I've completed 2 tips of the snowflake. Now I'm going to get back to you all once I finish all the sides of the snowflake, and there are going to be a total of 6 tips of the snowflake. Now we are done with all the 6 tips of the snowflake. Now we're going to go ahead and chain a long string. That depends on how long you want the snowflake hanging to be. So you can chain how many ever you want, and then I'll show you all what to do in the later steps. Right now I just completed chaining the snowflake hanging, and this is how long I want it. And now we're gonna make a loop for it. So for that we're gonna begin by putting our hook through the yarn and just giving a small slip stitch, and you can do it around 2-3 times to just secure the loop completely. Now, once you're done slip stitching the loop, you're gonna take your scissors and just cut it and make sure that it's completely secure so that the yarn doesn't just open. And now we are done with our snowflake. We just have one more step to do, that is to yarn the long parts of the yarn that are hanging. So for that we're gonna take our yarning needle. Now that we have our yarn put through the yarning needle, we're just gonna sew it in the snowflake, and this just helps for the loop to stay strong. We're just gonna go ahead and sew it in through the stitches so it just looks a bit more seamless. Now we're going to repeat the same process for the yarn that is in the center of the snowflake, and once that's done, your snowflake is completely ready. After about 10 to 15 minutes, your snowflake will be ready, and this is really easy to make, so you can make a bunch of them and give it to your friends, family, or even hang it on your Christmas tree. So thanks for watching.